Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming here. Today, as my colleague just presented, we are going to talk about the floor measurement and HP SitePrint. So let me just wait a couple of seconds. I'm going to introduce myself while they are loading the presentation. So I'm Jaume Homs. I'm the global head for HP SitePrint, the head of sales and go-to-market for HP SitePrint. That this is new technology, this robotic solution, which is already transforming how the layout is, construction layout is done in construction sites. So we are adding this new service about floor measurement, and this is what I'm going to be talking about in a second. So while my colleague is still loading the presentation, but I can start even without the presentation. So as I said, we as HP, right, we are a company that we've been looking into the construction market, the construction segment for a long time. We started with workstations, then we moved with large format printers as well. So we have a lot of experience in the construction sites, but now we decided a few years back that we wanted to automate and we wanted to improve the workflow of construction layout. Something's happening with the presentation, no?
Let me just check what's going on, all right?
Yeah.
And I'll be right back.
Give us a second.
Yeah.
Give us a second. I can do it without the presentation, but it's going to be better even for you because I have some very cool videos and images. So let's wait a few minutes. It was working 10 minutes ago. Maybe it's because it's not an HP laptop. Probably it's something else. Just joking. Just joking. While we are waiting, is there anyone who has heard about HP SitePrint before today? Yes? Anyone? There's one there. You? The rest is going to be the first time that you hear about HP SitePrint? Okay. Good. Let's see. Now it's loading. Okay, here we are. So you will see it in a minute. Now it's downloading. Okay, it's going to take a few minutes. Few seconds, hopefully. I don't want to start without the presentation, so let's wait for a second. No, I can see that it's going to show up in a very few seconds. So while we have more people joining, so which is good as well.
So thank you so much for your patience. We're fixing the issue with the presentation, but it's loading. We're going to be any app.
Yeah, it's now.
Okay, almost there. Thank you so much for your patience. And once again, welcome to the application stage. This is going to be the second presentation of the day. We'll be talking about all these use cases, examples of how to use these amazing technologies that you can see on this show floor and on the upper floor. And we've got the presentation ready, and I'm just going to give it over to you once again. Thank you so much for your patience.
Okay, good. No, thank you to you for inviting us. So, as I was saying, so my name is Jaume Homs, right? I mean, I'm the global head of sales for HP SitePrint, right? And for construction services globally. And what I'm going to be talking about today is about the future of work in construction, right? So as I was explaining, HP has been looking into how we can improve the wall in construction, right? And then, and the reason why we did that is because construction business is a very big business. It's a 13 trillion business, right? It's huge, and there is a big need to be improved. So, construction is a segment, is a market that hasn't progressed or hasn't improved for the last year. Since 1960 to 2020, it has improved the productivity in terms of productivity, right? But starting in 2020, since now, I mean, there are a lot of technologies that are already improving how things are built. So the productivity gain in construction is improving little by little, especially in the last 5 years. And it's not only that; it's that there is a lot of people interested in even paying for productivity gains in construction, right? So that's why we are so interested in this segment. Then we were looking at how can HP improve the workflow in construction. And what we were looking at the end-to-end workflow, and we discovered that there is a lot of hours that are lost in digital to physical transitions. And one example of that is layout, right? It's construction layout. So we are talking about 10 billion square feet of layout that is done on a yearly basis. That is 1 billion square meters, right, on a daily basis. And it's not only that. It's that there are doing this layout, because of this layout, there are a lot of inefficiencies in terms of collaboration, because of miscommunication between general contractors and the different trades. We are talking that almost every week, at least, there are 5 hours a week that are lost because of miscommunication between general trades and general contractors and the different trades. So layout is a process, right? I mean, for the ones that you are not familiar with construction layout, construction layout is the process that to transform or to translate a digital drawing into a real slab, right? And this is a manual process that takes a lot of time, that is very difficult to do, that it's a manual process which leads a lot of mistakes and reworks. And what we did at HP is we launched 2 years ago, that was in 2023, we launched a solution that is called HP SitePrint, that you will be able, I mean, if you want, you can visit us on our booth, that you will have the opportunity to see it printing in real life, right? So this robot is basically automating this layout process. Since the launch 2 years ago, we've been able, during these last 2 years, to improve the productivity of the layout. So now it's 2 times faster compared when we launched it 2 years ago. We have more autonomy. We have new workflows. We launched new workflows of the construction layout process, and we are already integrated with 9 different total stations from different brands: Trimble, Topcon, and Leica, right? So this is where we are. But I mean, I know that you are here not to talk about construction layout only, but you want to hear about this new service that we are launching today at INTERGEO. This is a new service that is called floor measurement, right? That is with HP SitePrint. And before starting my presentation about it, I would like to roll out a video that is explaining a little bit how the process works.
Once again, HP SitePrint is taking construction to new levels of ease and efficiency. Let's go! This time with the first robotic layout solution that unifies deviation marking for floor leveling processes. We're about to change the game. Say goodbye to time-consuming interrupted workflows from job site to office and back. Because now, HP SitePrint captures floor-level data while laying out to deliver autonomous deviation printing. It seamlessly measures, processes, and marks deviation data in real time on site, not back in the office. And the user-friendly interface makes it easy to understand and easy to operate. All so you can enhance collaboration across trades and help reduce profit-draining delays. From factories to data centers, warehouses to manufacturing plants. When the job is making floors level, this is next level. This is HP SitePrint. Now, with floor deviation marking.
Excellent, good. So what I'm going to explain now is why it matters, why it's so hard to do floor level measurement manually, and the solution that we are providing. And also I would like to share some 4 different real success stories from customers using that technology. Why it matters? Let me start with that. First of all is in terms of safety, right? It's very important that the floor is leveled, right? Because if not, I mean, imagine that a big racking system, for example, that if it's not well leveled and you load it, then it could collapse, right? So this is something in terms of safety that everyone needs to take into consideration. Also on operational efficiency. So imagine that you have robots, right? I mean, you know, those AGVs that now are moving different things across the warehouses, right? Those robots, they are working well because of if everything is very leveled, it's well leveled. But if not, in terms of efficiency of those robots, it's not working well. All this, if it's not working well, then what happens is that they will fail. And if it fails, or the racking system collapse, or things like that, all that can lead to a lot of cost, extra cost, or cost overruns. With a good levelness we can avoid. And on top of that, the levelness is something that is very, very standardized, right? Especially in Europe, but in other countries as well. In every single country, there exist different norms, and for different applications that needs to be followed. So that's why it matters. Why is so hard to do the floor levelness? It's hard because it's a manual process, right? I mean, and all the manual process, it's done by humans, right? And this leads a lot of mistakes. So if you do it manually, you need to work on your knees, but also it leads to a lot of mistakes. Then when you are processing and capturing all that data, this generates very large files. Those files are very difficult to process, especially if you are working, for example, with a tablet in your job site, right? Processing those large files in the tablet takes a lot of time. Also, once you get all this data, you need to process it to understand the data and then take actions. So all this post-processing needs to be done in the office. So that means that when you are capturing the data in the job site, if you want to know what's happening, you need to go to the office, process that data, understand it, take action, and then you need to go back to the job site. And last but not least, as I was explaining, this is an industry that is very, very standardized. So not following the right norms can lead to the miss of liability, right? So what are we proposing, right? What we are proposing is a solution that is called HP SitePrint, the new service for HP SitePrint, that is floor levelness, right? That basically what it does is we are measuring while printing. Imagine a racking system, and I'm going to share 4 examples. Imagine that you are printing or racking bolts, right? So while we are marking those bolts on the floor, we are measuring the height, right, at the same time that we are doing the layout. So in the same process, we don't need to do anything extra. In the same process, while we are printing, we are capturing that data. Then this data, it's processed in real time, and we can see the results while the robot is printing. So we don't need to wait. We are getting real-time data while we are using the robot. And not only that, so this data, if we want to take the action, or we want to print those elevation, or to get those elevation differences, right, in the screen, we can also use that data and print it on the floor, right? And last but not least, all this information, it's not only available in real time, but also while you are printing on the job site, the people in the office, or after you finish the job, you can get all that data afterwards offline. So that's why it's so important. In case you are curious on how we are getting this Z, the height of each point that we are printing, basically we are using the total station. So our robot is integrated with a total station. For construction layout, we are using the X and the Y, right? That's how we are printing on the floor. But in order to get the floor measurement, in order to get the Z, the height as well, what we are getting is that information from the total station, but at the same time we are using some internal sensors where we are mixing that information, our sensors, plus the information that we are getting from the total station, in order to get the maximum precision and accuracy. Today, the accuracy that we are getting with this solution is, in terms of height, is 2 millimeters, right? Printing is 3 millimeters, but in terms of levelness, it's 2 millimeters, right? So now let's go for the real stories, success stories, 4 different success stories, right? And then I will explain some new things that are coming in the future that are even improving this good accuracy that we already have today. So the success stories that I'm going to share is 1 from a data center, 2 from Intralogistics, and the last one is on building construction. So the first one is a data center project. So that story is coming from Australia. So this is coming from a service provider that was asked by a general contractor to, as you can see here, to print or to measure 5,000 server rack balls, right, across 9,000 square meters. So this is a job that takes a lot of time. So they told us that that this job manually would take more than 160 hours. With our solution, it took only 2 days, 14 hours, right, with one person. That's a 12 times productivity improvement. So that was amazing. They were very happy. They decided to get the information instead of printing the floor levelness information. They decided to get it in the CSV file, but also they had some economics improvement. Second example is in Intralogistics. We are talking about the Mezzanine, right? So this example is also in Australia. That's a coincidence, but it's also in Australia. This is done by one of the top global system integrators, and it's about, as I was saying, a Mezzanine. So this case is quite similar as a racking system for a data center, where they were printing the bolts for the different columns. That job, they were printing or marking or leveling 1,000 bolt locations over 3,000 square meters place. So that's a job that takes normally 7 to 10 days. With HP SitePrint, it took only 2 days with one operator, right? So as you can see, the productivity gain, it's huge. But not only that, we are saving time because of we are not making mistakes because it's a robot instead of having someone measuring it, right? So in this case, instead of getting the CSV file, what the customer decided is to print on the floor the deviation differences between the highest point. Next one is also in Intralogistics, but is in a racking systems for automated storage and retrieval system. So this is one of the top 10 global system integrators. It's operating worldwide. They have a lot of robots from us, and they work in Europe. They have projects in US, and in this case, they were printing in a huge facility. We are talking about a 2,000 square meters facility where they needed to mark those rack base plates that we are talking about 2,500 points, and that was completed in less than 2 weeks, right? Compared to 2 months versus doing it manually and not taking into account, as I was explaining, the mistakes. So in this case, what they decided is to print all the deviations for the shimming application, right? I mean, for the shimming sizes to facilitate the work to the operators that needed to install those racking systems. And the last success story is in building construction. So in this case, this is a company based in UK. It's a company that is a civil engineering and construction company. They were working in a water treatment project where they needed to install 100 precast concrete panels, right? In order to do that, they printed 4 points for each panel in order to make sure that everything was leveled, and they had a lot of success. They did it in 1 day and a half instead of a week. So as you can see, in all the examples I'm sharing, the productivity gain is between 5 and 15 times faster, and of course saving a lot of money and avoiding all kind of mistakes. And everything is done while we are printing. We don't need to do anything extra. So that's mainly the presentation. I shared about the SitePrint, the new service that is floor levelness. What I would like to share now is, okay, what's next? No? On top of this, the service that you can come to our site, our booth that I'm gonna share now, where is it located? But I also want to share what's next. So our robot works with a 360 prism, right? But now we are introducing here at INTERGEO as well what we call the spherical mounted reflector prism, right? That is the one that you can see in this slide. This prism is improving the accuracy. In construction layout, it's moving from 3 millimeters to 2 millimeters tolerance, and in floor levelness is moving from the 2 millimeters that I just shared to 1 millimeter with a spherical prism.